Wow, none of the guys up the hill are down here this morning. Morris and Marty, you're doing good. I'll look for Stripe in a few minutes. He's not come yet. Don has moved the van into the drive position for me. I gotta take Stripe to the vet this morning, and I called and they gave me a warning and said they're paving right out front and to park in an alternate spot and be careful. And I said, thanks for letting me know not to drive the Tesla. That wasn't exactly what they called to tell me, but yeah.
Yeah, well, that parking lot at that place is a real mess anyway, as far as getting in and out of. And
yeah, when Zaxby's moved in, apparently the land the vet owns and how they decided to do Zaxby's, it wasn't good for the vet parking. Yeah. So it's not bad out here except for the clouds. I mean, temperature-wise, it's still nice. Right. But the 90s are coming by this weekend, folks. Dry and 90s, they said. I'm not going to like that at all. Sounded like I was going to be having to do a lot of watering. Hey, Donnie.
Hey, pretty girl. You're such a cute little thing.
I'm in the van. It's 10:20. I got Stripe loaded up just in the nick of time. I was out there calling and calling and calling, and he wasn't coming. He's kind of been late a few mornings recently. Anyway, I've got him and I need to scoot. I guess I don't see any paving equipment, but it does look like they may have been paving this morning over in Zaxby's, which was the side he told me to avoid. So, I do appreciate the warning. Yeah, the Zaxby's lot looks fresh. Oh, Aldi. Aldi's where the paving was. Okay. Well, I am glad I drove the van, but I don't have any of the amenities that I would have if I had Ruby. Like, I really can't run the air conditioner because I'd have to run the engine, and there's no big screen with video games or Netflix, or I guess I'll just have to play on my phone while I wait. They're still not letting people go in with the animals. All right, I'm taking Stripe back home. She said he had a little bit of upper respiratory sounds, and she gave him an antibiotic shot, and she sent me home with some gel that's an amino acid immune booster, and wants me to put a little bit of the gel on his food and watch him, I guess, and watch him. But she was able to give him his booster shots, which he needed. They were due. They were basically due on my birthday. She told me to get him in either a week before or a week after. So that's all handled. Hopefully we won't have to crate him up for a whole year now. And that would be good. So I'm headed back to the house, and he's serenading me back there, poor guy. He was a little better for them today. They said a little better. He just doesn't like being crated because he's such a sweetheart. He's such a sweetheart, but he doesn't like the crate. Yeah, and I guess they weren't actually paving back there, but they did put an asphalt sealer down. So I still appreciate the warning that it might not have been, you know, well, they were basically warning me not to try to come in at the light, to come in by the insurance company entrance. But I'll appreciate any tips on how to avoid any kind of asphalt with Ruby, so that's good. Making some deviled eggs to go along with our dinner tonight. Still using this Dash egg cooker all the time, 2 or 3 times a week. Don and I will be leaving for my MRI in about 15 minutes, and I guess I've been sitting here for about 15 minutes. I was going to build the foundation floor for the 2nd floor of the mansion, and what I discovered is that although I have all of these flat tile plates, all these plates, I don't have all that I need in the right size. So I put in an order for that, and I ordered about double because I use these all the time, like pretty much with every building. They're coming from Oregon, so it's going to take a while. I know the stuff to build the windows and continue on the haunted house will be here today, so I can switch back to working on that. Plus, when these 2 arch pieces come, I can still top off and finish this. There's like 10 steps or something over here to do. So anyway, I made some progress, but not anything really cool that I can show you that I built today, because today was kind of a behind the scenes order and prepare for the next part kind of a day. So we're headed up to Duke Regional, formerly Durham Regional Hospital, and yes, I've heard the noise. So it's about 39 miles and 50 minutes this time of day to get up there, which has us getting there just before 3, and we're supposed to be there at 3, so that's good. My actual MRI is at 3:30. So Jules put on the 3rd software update so far for the month of May last night. On 5.5 we put on 2021.4.15.6. Then on 5.14 we put on .8. And last night, 5.16, we put on .10. So we're at 2021.4.15.10. Ruby is still on just .15. None of these little dot releases. So she hasn't been updating as often as Jules has. And it just keeps on saying, you know, it just continues to be bug fixes, not any really new function, at least not that they're admitting. Either it wasn't doing this before, which I'm guessing it was, or it's doing it now. And we normally aren't navigating, or I'm not looking up at just the right time, or I don't know. It is showing a motorcycle in front of us, and yep, we got a motorcycle in front of us. Well, we just went past a accident scene where there was a Mini Cooper over in a field.
Yeah.
And there was a state guy, a fire truck, and an ambulance, and I reached forward and pressed the save, you know, footage on the dash cam. So if you see a Tesla owner reach forward and like they're pressing on something when they're going past you, they probably making sure they record whatever it is you were doing.
Right.
That's what we do now. But Don says he thinks the guy must have hit a deer or a cow or something.
Yeah, I'm sure that ambulance was there maybe to take him, the driver, away. The way the headlight was, the front fender was hit, it looked like more like the kind of damage you get when you hit not a car, not a something substantial, something that gives, like a car, I mean a cow or a deer or big dog or something.
Yeah, well, it seemed to be a single car accident, and he was over in the field in a very awkward position, and yeah, so I didn't look like anything else was around that he hit too, so yeah.
And yeah.
Changing lanes away from cones is exactly what it said.
Wait,
I'd never seen her say that before. Well, what's she gonna do now? Well, actually, they're pretty far away, these cones, but there's cones on both sides. But that's exactly what it said.
yeah, well, that's what I thought it's what it said.
Yeah, because there was no changing to keep the speed or, you know, we're going around a slow vehicle. It's what it said. Trying to get away from them cones. It's been a pretty uneventful drive, and we are on time. Hasn't changed. It's almost like they've gotten more strict.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not even allowed to go inside and check in and wait or nothing. They want us to sit in the car. It's a good thing we got air conditioning and we're in an electric car.
Yeah, I'm going to watch a Netflix or two.
Yeah, because they said to be here at 3 for our 3:30 appointment, and we were, but check-in took, less than 5 minutes total between the person at the booth and the person we had to talk to on the phone. So, I don't know. We could be waiting here a few minutes. Well, they actually didn't keep us waiting at all. They basically called us right away. So here we are. So I ended up being in the mobile unit, which is right there, Alliance Imaging, that trailer. And so Don just waited out here in Jules with the AC running and his podcast going and the seat all reclined backward.
That's right.
You were looking pretty comfortable when I came up. Don's having fun with autopilot today.
Yeah, well, we are in
It's pretty crowded out here.
dense traffic, a lot of road changes, cones, a lot of things going on. And I have to say, other than missing or not taking opportunities to get over when I tried to tell her now would be a good time, she said, I ain't gonna listen to that fella just because he turned on his turn signal. I mean, I'm gonna get over now. I'm gonna sit here and click for a while. Then I just didn't let her click. I just got on over. But other than that, and now, she wasn't unsafe. She was erring on the side of safety. But I'm impressed. She handled some really tricky little traffic situations.
These are the apartments they put in, luxury apartments, they say, behind Fuquay's Walmart. It's called The Retreat at Fuquay Varina. They went up quick. I don't know what little bit they're doing here. It's retail, small business front, it said. And here's the Walmart. Let's see how happy I'm gonna be. There's at least one. There's two.
Ooh, goodness.
At least that's probably what both of those are.
Yeah, I would think so.
So I know you're not expendable. I know you're not red.
I'm not the red guy.
But are you gold or blue?
I think I'd rather be blue.
Science, okay.
Yeah,
like science and engineering, math, the smart people on the ship.
That's
okay. Right. I guess we got home with enough time for you to run, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do good. I love you.
I love you too.
You got your podcast queued?
Yeah. Trying to figure out how to get my eggs hatching.
Oh, Pokemon Go. He just loves hatching eggs for me. Not. Morris, you are not supposed to be there. He tried to get in the chair with Stripe, and I guess it was too small for him. Well, this particular seller just threw everything in one bag. I actually think I remember seeing a warning about that. Well, when they got the parts you need, they got the parts you need, but this is not particularly kind.
Ahead of Tesla? Yeah. How are you going to get ahead of Tesla? They're starting years behind. I mean, look, Tesla didn't have to develop a whole bunch of stuff to make these games that go in the car. They basically just went to some mobile app developers and were like, hey, you have a mobile app that I guess Elon really likes, or you have an arcade game that's easy to port. Let's just put it in the car. Easy peasy.
So Elon plays video games. We've established that.
Yes. So guess what? Ford is going to form a committee to study which games and survey the market, what video games they should put in the car. They'll get the first video game in the car in 2042. How does Tesla get video games in the car? Elon says, I played this game, it's great. Put it in the car.
Go make it happen, now.
Ford's gonna study it and survey and maybe, but you know what? They may do a mail-in, snail mail-in campaign that you pick up the little card at your local Ford dealer and fill it out and mail it to Ford. It's which game would you like to have on your Ford Power-Up console? That's how they're gonna.
I want to see how fast it plays on the Ford chip.
Right, that's great.
We give Ford just a little bit of a hard time here.
Personally, it would have been something that'd been better to just ship it on the car. Now, go on and ship it on the car, and then say, "Hey, look at these games. They're talking about it. They're gonna do it someday." And what? How long has games been on Teslas? They've 3 years now, something like ever since 2.0 or something.
A while.
Yeah,
Ever since Elon said, you know what? I need video games in the car when I'm supercharging. Oh, but wait a minute. The car supercharges so fast now, we don't even have time to play a video game.
We couldn't even watch our own video the other day. We had to go.
Because it was just ready to go. The car was just ready. Yeah. So I want you to know that the nice vet that always takes care of the cats this morning, she noticed I wasn't in the Tesla. She knew the Tesla was electric. One of the guys that works there, he drives a Volt. And he's driven a Volt for several years. So they know about the Volt. And we were talking, you know, this and that or the other. And, you know, people basically start out conversations with me now. Well, I bet you weren't waiting in line for gas last week. And I'm like, yeah, that's right. So no offense, but a short gas shortage is probably the best thing that ever happened to the adoption of EVs. Because I have had so many people this week ask about driving an EV again. I was on the Facebook group last night for Fuquay. And the women of Fuquay Varina, ladies of Fuquay Varina, they woke up and they wanted to know about EVs. They did. And there were several other women around town that drive Teslas that are in that group. So between me and them, we were giving them all these little juicy tidbits. And like, so, you know, what was they thinking? So how does that charging work? You know, well, it takes 3 seconds when I get out of the car for the last time of the day. And it takes 3 seconds in the morning to unplug it when I get in the car. And oh, by the way, it's full with more, you know, mileage than I'm going to burn in a day chauffeuring kids and running errands.
That's right.
And I won't be getting gas on my hands, and I won't be standing outside at the gas station in bad weather. Now, I know on trips you got to get out at the supercharger, but I don't take that many trips, and that's what I have you for. But anyway, still, you only get out and you plug it in. And you get right back in. You know, with the gas, you're really supposed to monitor it and stand there and all that good stuff. And plus the ads and the extra money you spend when you go into places. And yeah, so anyway, it was a good conversation week between the mask mandates going down. You know, people getting less afraid to talk to people now. And also the shortage thing. Yeah, so I was the best EV advocate I could be. Now I am an unabashed Tesla fangirl, but I was the best Team EV answer question person I could possibly have been for the ladies. So if we see a few more Teslas driving around town.
That's right.